Welcome back to Coffee and Tea with CarrieV. I'm CarrieV, your biggest fan, the person who will believe in you until you can believe in yourself. This podcast is all things leadership, communication, confidence, clarity. It's all things life. And today we're going to dive into the subject matter of getting real with yourself. This has been on my heart a lot in 2025. I can hardly believe that we are in month 3. We're almost a quarter done this year already. This is blowing my mind. And every year I feel like the time seems to go a little bit quicker. Maybe it's because I'm older. Maybe it's because I am thinking of all the things I have left that I want to do. And this is the last year of my 5th decade. I'm 59 years old this year. Or I turned 59 years old already this year. In next January of 2026, I'll be 60 years old, which I can't even wrap my head around. One, I don't feel, I'm sorry, I'll be 60. I don't feel like I am entering my 6th decade, according to what people say I should feel like. In my mind, I'm still 25-ish. In my mind, I still have all this time in the world. But the fact is, I don't. And the fact is, none of us really knows. But I've been really thinking about getting real with who I am and getting real with where I am and with what I want. And many of you who have listened to me, who have gotten to know me over the years, know that in 2021, end of 2020, 2021, my life really took a dive into a spiral with a cancer diagnosis and with multiple surgeries. The same year my mom died, same year I went through the virus a few times, and same year I broke my shoulder. It was just a really tough year. And I feel like I'm still climbing out of the hole that I ended up in. Part of it because of things that were out of my control, but part of it, if I'm real with myself, which I'm being real with myself, is because I chose to not climb out sooner. That is the reality. And I show myself grace because it was hard. All of those things I went through were hard. The surgeries weren't just, when you go through surgery, it's not like you just get back up. And they were surgeries that left me with a lot of long-term effects, which many surgeries do. I'm not the only one. I understand that. Having half of my large intestine removed left me with digestive issues and really challenging hydration issues. It is so hard for me to stay hydrated even if I drink a lot of water, just because of the way my body absorbs things. So I have to make sure that I'm adding in electrolytes. I have to make sure I'm absorbing enough nutrients like iron and magnesium and potassium. And so it is a challenge that I'm always having to stay on top of. And if I don't feel well. Having my ovaries removed at the end of that same year, I mean, like 12 months later, 11 months later, I was back in the hospital for another surgery to have a major body part removed. And nobody warned me of what was coming after that surgery for me physically. Everything changed, everything shifted. And I just felt like I was getting hit by a freight train over and over and over again. That part I couldn't control, but I could control my response to it, and I could control digging myself out. And I made choices that have put me where I am now, some good and some not so good. And so I've spent time really getting real with myself. Do I like where I am physically? No, not even close. I When I look back and I look at how strong I was and how I had worked so hard to lose 100 pounds and keep it off for 15 years, never thought anything about it. And then after that year and those surgeries, part of it a lifestyle change, much of it the surgery changes, everything shifted. And now when I look at myself, I'm like, I don't know who that person is. And I want that person back. Well, if I'm real with myself, this whole podcast is about getting real. I can't have a younger version, a pre surgery version of myself back. She doesn't exist anymore. That person no longer exists. The person you were a year ago, a month ago, yesterday, that person doesn't exist. We have progressed a day, a year, a month, however long it is you're looking back. When you look at a picture, and I was looking for a picture to pick up, when you look at a picture and you're like, oh gosh, I wish I looked like that. Guys, time does move on. But here's the thing. When I get real with myself, what I realize is that though I cannot go back and have a version of myself from 10 years ago, I can have a different version of myself moving forward if I choose to have a different version of myself. It's physical changes and it's emotional and mental and thought changes all combined. It is knowing that if I say I'm going to bed at 9 and getting up at 5, that I need to be in bed at 9 so that I can get up at 5. And if I go to bed at 9:30, my time that I wake up is pushed to 5:30. Those are my choices that I get to make. And if I get up at 5:30, will I get done everything that I want to get done? I'm a morning person. So I don't want to be up late at night. I want to be working first thing in the morning. I want to have a whole bunch of stuff done before even 8 a.m. hits. I used to do that. I was very disciplined. That is something that I'm getting real about. I let go of my discipline. And that was a decision that I made based on the circumstances I was going through. And as I regained my strength, I just never got back into the habit of going to bed early and getting up early. And so I am starting to take that back. I'm starting to realize that I've been breaking my own heart by breaking promises to myself for years. I used to make sure that I got at least 8,000 steps a day. I don't track them. I'm not obsessive about it, but I made sure I was up and moving all day. I made sure there was at least 30 minutes of consistent walking. Maybe not all at once. Maybe they were 10-minute blocks, but I was up and I was walking and I made sure it happened every day in addition to my weight workouts, which I poured my heart and soul into. And so when I look at pictures or when I look at myself when I get dressed and I think, gosh, this is not healthy for me. I am carrying 50 extra pounds. This is not good for my body, for my joints, for my heart, for any system in my body. This is not good for me. What am I going to do about it? So I am researching, I'm working with functional medicine doctors, I'm working with holistic doctors to find the medical and the holistic steps I can take. But there's a huge piece of this puzzle that is entirely my responsibility. And that is making sure that I am up and moving, that I'm getting those steps in, that I'm doing those strength workouts, that I'm eating the protein. Those are all on me. And it's the mental shift of believing that it is possible to have a healthier version of myself. My business also took a hit when I was going through all of that time in 2021 and beyond. And if I am realistic and real with myself, how much effort do I put into my business like I used to before all that happened? I have had to get real with myself and take the steps to make a difference in my life if I want to make a difference in my life. And I'm sharing this with you and I'm being vulnerable with you because I'm pretty sure that many of you listening are in the same boat. Life can get challenging and we can get stuck in a rut of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting things to get different. They're not going to get different. If they're not getting different by what you're doing now, they're not going to get better by doing the same things. We have to make a shift. And it's not just a physical shift and it's not just an emotional shift and it's not just an attitude shift. It's all of those shifts put 100% together. Shift your mindset. Believe in who you are, who you were created to become, and what you were put on this earth to achieve. 100% believe that. And then take the steps and be unapologetically unafraid to go out and do the things that you know you need to do to become who you know you want to become. Sit down and determine what is it you truly want. What do you want in life? And what are you willing to do to make that a reality? For me, it has meant really taking control of my time. I am doing an entire study on managing my time, and next week we'll do a podcast on that, on what I am learning about managing my time, about choosing the things today that will matter 10 years from now, not choosing the things today that only matter today. What am I looking at? What am I doing? Taking a time audit. Everything that I'm doing, am I spending the time on the things that I need to spend time on in order to become the person I want to become? And my answer, if I'm real with myself, is 100% no. No. So the next step is, what do I need to change in order to shift that from being my reality? And that is where I am right now. What are the things I need to let go of, or the things I need to put out to a team to accomplish for me, or really things that I just need to let go of? What are the mindset shifts that I need to make? That's huge. What things that I'm procrastinating on do I need to stop procrastinating on and just do them? We were all put on this earth for a majorly amazing reason. None of us got put here to just stumble through for 60, 70, 80, 90 years and then leave. We all are here for purpose, serving others, becoming who we were created to become, and being unapologetically who we are, being perfectly imperfect, taking steps, failing along the way, but getting up and trying again and trying again and trying again and trying again, doing things differently so that we get a different result. Stop breaking promises to yourself. Stop breaking your own heart. It is time to make a shift. We are nearly 3 months into 2025, which means we have 3 quarters left. We have 9 months, 9.5 really, because we're not at the end of March, but we have 3 quarters, 9 months left. Make a pinky promise with me that we are going to shift our mindset, shift our emotional thought process. We're going to shift the physical things we were doing, and we are going to make a big, huge difference in the rest of 2025. I feel so excited about this. I'm so fired up about it, and I would love your feedback and who is going to join me on this. In fact, that is your journal prompt today. What do I need to shift today in order to make 2025 my best year ever? What do I need to shift today to make 2025 my best year ever? I love you. I am your biggest fan. And it is time to get real, have real talk with ourselves, and make real changes in our lives. I love having you here on Coffee and Tea with CarrieV. I love having you join me. This is an amazing time together. You are amazing. Now let's go out there and make a difference. I will see you next time on Coffee and Tea with CarrieV.